Hello, my loves. It's G here from Go to Thread Tarot, and I'm here to bring you another channeled message. I hope this message finds you blessed and full of abundance as always, okay? So, today, as you can tell by the title, I have a channeled message from your higher self. It's like a deep channeled message from your higher self. So, I'm going to try to go ahead and get tapped into the energy here. Okay, so your higher self is saying, like, it's your time. It's your time to evolve. It's your time to step in and make yourself and your expansion and your divine mission the true center of your focus. That you've been going through a lot of emotional work right now, and that you might be feeling kind of bogged down by this kind of energy. Of the service that you are being asked to do, that you have a very divine purpose here, that you are transmuting a lot of past life energy as well as like past ancestral energy, that you might be feeling very bogged down or weighed down by the weight of this kind of ancestral like devil energy that you could be finding yourself going through. It's kind of like you're in the middle of it right now. But Spirit is saying that they are sending you assistance, that you're receiving downloads, but there is this kind of blocked energy here. There's this kind of blocked and wounded energy of feeling selfish or feeling like it's hard for you to make yourself the true priority in your life or the true center of your life. They're showing me kind of this image. It looks kind of like a star in space. And it's showing me that instead of being center and one with yourself, it's like you've separated part of yourself and it's like circling around or like trapped in this orbit around, instead of coming into union and coming into oneness, into grounded center with yourself. So I was asking, like, what is stopping you from recentering yourself, like coming into union with your higher self, with your more enlightened self? And I heard Akashic records. There's something in your Akashic records. It's a contract. It's a very, very long contract. A long acting contract that I feel like is being activated within you now. There's this past version of yourself that's being almost like reincarnated right now. It's being activated within your like stellar DNA, like within your soul's DNA, your cosmic DNA, not just the DNA of this flesh body that you're in, but in your deeper soul DNA. It's like these light code activations that are being activated within you right now. And your emotional body is kind of acting almost like a barrier. So these like heavier emotions are kind of acting like this kind of blocked energy here. Yeah, they're saying that you're carrying a lot of heavy trauma from your past. Look at that. Oh. And it's keepers of the earth and don't dim your light to fit in. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So there is this kind of ancestral energy, like I was saying before. There is kind of, and I don't want to scare anybody when I say this, but there is kind of this dark ancestral kind of heavy energy of dimming yourself, dimming your light, being convincing yourself that you're less than you really are, that you're less powerful than you really are, and it's stopping you from having this kind of very easy flow energy. It could be like the sense of feeling like you always have to be perfect, like it's like this perfectionist kind of, you're always not good enough, you're always nitpicking yourself. And this could be on a scale, you guys, but Spirit wants you to be very aware of the way that you look at yourself, of the way that you might physically, emotionally, or, it's kind of this energy of judging yourself. And your higher self is saying, like, they want you to stop judging yourself so harshly. That this was like something that you learned along the way, that they really want you to shed, that they really want you to be able to, like, let go of. Okay? Mother energy. This might come from a mother energy, or it might come from like your mother line. So like an ancestral kind of dark energy passed down from your mother line. Okay, it could be from your feminine energy. And it's this energy of, wow. It's this energy of telling yourself no. Of telling yourself, no, you're not good enough. No, you're not, no, you're not ready. It's almost like this energy of self-sabotage, of you getting in your own way. Of, again, there is this aversion almost to going very deeply within yourself and allowing yourself to reflect deeply on who you are, on the power that is actually hidden within you. Again, there is this kind of, see how this woman here is married, and there is kind of this energy of separation here, separation within yourself. It's almost like a lack of acknowledgement of yourself, of your accomplishments, of how powerful you are. Excuse me, of who you really are. Yeah, there's kind of this feeling of like ascending, this feeling of ascending to the throne of it, or ascending, because see this right here, where it looks like you're kind of like you have the stairway to ascend up, and then here is like a point at the top ascending to this orb of light that has this triangle in the background. So it's kind of, and again, there is this energy of no. See how, again, there's the triangle in the background, and there's this storm that's in front of it with all, again, stairs leading up to the triangle, to your pinnacle of power here, right? Again, and you're constantly having kind of like this storm inside of you that's saying no. No, I won't ascend. No, I won't. I won't allow my true power to manifest. And it's because, and it's falling here under this past life energy here. And it's because you have this higher energy body, this higher energy self that you have embodied in the past. But there is almost like this energy of like, no, again, look. And look at this. I didn't even see that. Look how she's ascended the staircase and she's here finally at the top of the staircase. And look how the light that's coming from this door, from this portal, is creating creating that pyramid shape behind her. Right? And it is here unlocking this kind of portal energy. And you see the phoenix, the light phoenix up here, made of pure light. It could also be like a dove energy, but it definitely gives me a phoenix energy. And there is kind of like this doorway from the past. Again, there is like this opening of your Akashic records, this opening. And again, what is there in that doorway. Look here. There's you with the doorway, with the bird at the top of it, right? The phoenix. And here, this definitely looks more like a dove, right? But then, you guys, look what's up at the top right there. Can you guys see that? It's a pyramid. Look at it. Come on now. Right? And there is this kind of union with your holy higher self, right? This is you and your 3D self. And here on the other side of this doorway is this kind of light energy, light download, light activation of your light body, right? This DNA activation of your higher self, and this, hold your center, this recentering of yourself. The number 34, and 35. Some of you could be, 34, you could be 35, you could be turning 34 or 35 this year. There's this kind of like turning over energy, this like hitting a certain time period, and this turning over is what I'm getting. You guys, I'm loving the symbolism of all these cards lining up. It's so beautiful. Yeah, there's this kind of like pinnacle of your power, right? Reaching that apex. And again, here she is, again, at the top of the stairs here, ascending that stairway, sitting at the top. And at the top of that stairway is this beautiful garden that is connecting yourself, connecting you to this higher self. Again, just like in here, how there's this beautiful garden here. And on the other side of this doorway, of this gateway, is you connecting to your higher self. And that's what you're doing right now. What you're doing right now, the emotional work that you're doing right now, is going to allow you to meet that pinnacle of your power. And then again, here, and the don't dim yourself. Here you are with your eyes closed, turning your back, again here, on the pyramid of the pinnacle of your power, of having this clear sight, clear mind. You see the eye there? And again, the sun rays, right? The light activation is here. And there's this kind of energy of hiding away from yourself, hiding your true self, hiding who you really truly are. Because of this ancestral energy. But Spirit is saying that they are assisting you with going through this ancestral energy here, right? This initiation by water here is this energy of you going through these emotions, right? And there's this energy here of you holding yourself back, waiting and waiting and waiting, being in a pause and learning these earth lessons here, right? But there's kind of like this shedding, like Spirit is saying like, okay, it's time to shed this energy. It's time to shed this energy, like this earthly energy, so that you can stop being bound here, like earthbound, and that you can traverse across here, right? Because it's like you're sitting here, you're like, if only I could get over there to the other side. But I'm trapped here, or like landlocked, is the word I was trying to use. Landlocked here. But in between you and where you want to go is this ocean of emotion, right? Is where you are supposed, is this energy that you have to go through. You have to go through it, right? And in this 3 of Wands, it's like you're here waiting for these ships. It's like, how do I get across? How do I get across? How do I, I've come here on the shore. How do I cross this gap of land so that I can go across and ascend up to the pinnacle, right? It looks kind of like a pyramid shape in the background. How do I go across this energy here so that I can reach this level of ascension, because I feel it calling me, right? I feel like this calling to ascend. But first, I have to go through this energy, right? And it's like you have gone through here, you've gone on that journey. See, here you are completely landlocked, no water in sight, right? Beaten and battered, going through it, right? But you see in the distance, there's that mountain, there's that pinnacle, and you know that you are meant to reach it. And you've been you've been going on a long journey, right? You've been traveling, you've been going over these mountains, and it's like, okay, you see that mountain way back there in the background? That's where you're supposed to be, right? And here you are way over here, and you've learned all of these life lessons, and you've gone up and down the valleys and up and down the valleys and up these hills and down the hills to try to reach this hill way back here in the background, right? And you finally come to this place where you're going over, right? This last hill here. You reach the top of that hill, and here you are. And you're like, what? I've done all of this work and gotten all of this way, and look, there's this huge ocean, or this huge swath, of water that I have to get through. Well, I've just been walking on my feet the whole time. I've been going on this pilgrimage, if you will, the whole time, right? And I see the mountain there in the background. There it is. Come on, Spirit, come through. Come through with the visual, Spirit. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much, right? And it's something here too that it's funny that here over that mountain in the background is this wand here. Something significant about the fact that there's a wand here covering up that mountain in this picture. But you see the mountain, right? You see the mountain. You know that it's back there. But here you are just stuck here. And it's like, how am I going to get this? How am I going to get across this? How am I going to do this? And you're sitting there, just sitting there, waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like, what are these ships? It's got, it's like, how am I going to, okay, I need a ship. How do I get a ship? How do I get across here? How, I don't have any money, or I don't have passage to pay my way. What am I going to do? How am I going to find this way to this freedom that I'm trying to reach, right? I know that out there is this pinnacle, is this pinnacle that I am trying to ascend so that I can have this activation, so that I can reach, so that I can reach this place here, right? And I'm having to go there and ascend all the way up so that I can unlock this, right? And again, it's giving me more of like an internal journey, right? Obviously, all of this, I mean, some of you might actually, move, or might actually, some of you actually might be being called to move, or you might soon be being called to move closer to some type of water, or closer to something like that. You might feel that. Let it resonate if it does for you. But there's this kind of energy of like, oh, here I am right here at the shore, and I see the mountain. There it is in the background. I see the pinnacle out there. Me reaching my power, right? I see me being able to do it. I can visualize myself being on this boat, crossing the boat, and finally reaching that shore on the other side, and feeling like this feeling of like, oh my gosh, I can finally rest, right? But there is this feeling here of like this devil energy here, right? That's stopping you, it feels like. So this water energy that's like, oh my gosh, you serious? Like, now I gotta get a boat. Now I gotta get a boat, and now I gotta go through this and traverse this very dangerous water here so that I can reach the placid side, this peace on the other side. And Spirit is saying yes. Yes. If you want to face this energy here, and this is kind of, this no energy is kind of this devil energy here, right? It's this thing standing in the way from you reaching that. It's this kind of dark storm that's appearing along your path along the way, right? Okay, they're getting me to rearrange this so that I can get a new download. Yes, thank you, Spirit. And there's this need. Yeah. And on the other side of this, with this hold your center, there will be this opportunity to leap, to take this leap of faith and to ascend, right? But you're not going to fall. You're going to fly. Like that phoenix, like the bird, flying, you know, like taking that leap off. Like once you reach the top of the pinnacle, you're going to get the download that you need to release with that full moon energy, what you need to release so that you can take this opportunity and rise up, right? See her there rising in this column of light, pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. And look at how her world is kind of like, it's getting real trippy, right? Look at that. It's getting real trippy. It's getting real like fractally, like you're ascending to a different dimension almost, right? And leaving behind this moon energy and allowing this kind of sun energy here to bloom. That's where you're going. And it's going to take determination, persistence, perseverance, and willpower to overcome this devil energy, because it's this devil energy that keeps telling you no, right? But with dedication and perseverance and your will, you know, this discipline kind of energy of holding this accountability energy of, okay, like I'm going to take me and my journey seriously. And not that I don't think that you haven't been taking it seriously, but there's this new light, this new kind of understanding that your higher self wants you to have about what's really holding you back, what's really blocking you. Because it is this ancestral kind of no, dimming your light, dimming your energy that's been holding you back. Sisterhood of the Rose. Beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. Again, this is, oh my gosh. Look at the continued imagery, the story that Spirit is telling you here through this imagery, right? Look what is on the other side of the ocean. Again, it's the pyramid. And what's here in this pyramid, in this inner pyramid of understanding, deeply understanding yourself. Where's that? Did I put that back up? I might have shuffled it back in. That inner temple card? I guess I did. I guess I accidentally shuffled it back in. Look. And I picked this up and look what's here. Unbound. Right? Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Releasing this past, I just got the chills. Releasing this long-acting contract from your past life. Releasing this. This is coming up to the surface so that full moon energy, you can release it and unbind yourself, right? See here how these, I don't know if you can see this kind of these ribbons energy that is binding. Again, that's this devil chained energy here. And see here she is floating away, and it's because she's been unbound. I don't think it's picking it up, but it's really subtle. It's like right here, and it's unbound. Like the chain has been cut. The ribbon, you know, the tie, the soul bound. What's been binding her has been broken. So she can take this leap of faith here and fly away, float away into her higher consciousness. There's something here about you unbinding yourself from something that happened to you in a past life, a long acting contract here that you're working your way through, that's creating this kind of foggy energy from your past. This kind of I've been bound by this. I have to hide. I can't truly look at myself. I can't truly accept myself for who I really am. Creating heaven on earth, it's happening, Lumeria. For some of you, it's kind of reminding me of this energy right here. Kind of how almost like, as the oracle is rising, this kind of shifting of timelines, the shifting of realities is happening. And it's almost like the earth is changing, right? Like a new earth is being formed, is being born, and you're being raised above as the earth is changing beneath you. And it's kind of creating like this new earth feeling here. Ooh, yeah. And I think that a lot of you are going to be this person here that is meant to step into this role of this oracle energy, of this, like some of you might be guided to create some kind of sisterhood or create some kind of like a group, a gathering here. Oh, I'm getting the chills again. It might be around being a teacher, about being a mystic, being a high priestess energy. Something here about being, again, with this devotion energy, but also something here about beauty. It's very kind of Taurian, Libra kind of energy. It's giving me Empress vibes, like really strong. High priestess and Empress vibes together. Council of Light. Again, you're being helped in the higher realms. You're being helped by being triggered right now. By looking deeply into the mirror and asking yourself what's not aligned, what needs to go, right? So that this more playful energy here, this more lighthearted, playful energy, which is kind of what's at this pentacle. It's this much more lighthearted. I'm not so weighed down by the past. I'm not weighed down by the trauma or by the way I was raised or by the way I was taught to think by society. Bringing about this paradigm shift in for yourself is going to help assist you in bringing this paradigm shift in for the collective as well, right? That's this kind of you grounding this energy here. Where was that card? Yeah. This grounding card, right? That's you grounding and planting this higher seed here, even for yourself, not only for your family line, but for yourself as well. Mostly for yourself. Spirit wants you to recenter yourself and pull yourself back into being the center of your focus. Ooh. Starseed. So some of you might be also experiencing like a kind of starseed energy here, right? You're grounding in this higher vibrational change and the raising of vibration. Where are you being called to journey to? Like right there you are in the ocean of emotion again, right? And this more playful energy. There's the Akashic records that we were talking about, and there's the staircase again, you ascending up to the staircase, and there's that portal energy there as well. Some of you might feel like, I don't know why, like there's like the Sphinx and there's kind of this Egyptian, like some of you might feel like you had a past life in Egypt or ancient Kemet, if you want to refer to it that way. Also this Lemuria or for some reason I'm hearing Austria. Maybe some of you have Austrian roots, or you lived a past life in Austria. But again, there's like the mountains with the river. You see the river and the mountains back there? You see the here. It does look a lot like a pyramid, and it does remind me of this energy right here, where you're there at the shore with the river running through with the mountain in the background. And again, there's this kind of feeling like I'm trapped here on the shore. Like I'm pinned down. I'm trapped here on the shore. Feeling stuck. Feeling like in a hangman energy of, again, waiting and sitting and where am I going? What am I doing? How do I get across that ocean? Right? And you're being paused, and you have this pause energy because Spirit wants you to look at this devil energy, wants you to look within yourself, right? With that triggering card, right? Look deeply inside the mirror at yourself. How are you telling yourself no? How are you holding yourself back? You know, for some of you, it is yourself. Yes, it is your past and things you have gone through in your past, but right now you are the one allowing those swords to stay in your back, right? Keeping yourself in this dark storm cloud energy and telling yourself no, even if it's subconsciously. A lot of you are subconsciously telling yourself no. And it's this kind of energy of like, oh, I'd do it, but only if my finances. Oh, I'd do it, but only if I was being supported by, if I had a better support system. Oh, I'd do it, but only if I was with a partner, or if my partner believed in me, or if, there's so many like 3D life circumstances. Oh, I would love to go back to school, but the kids and my job and all of this. And I'm not saying that those things aren't, but but Spirit is saying, wake up and realize that you are the one telling yourself no. You are the one holding yourself back from reaching that, because there is this kind of energy of you just sitting there at the shore, like, like, what do I do? I'm not sure. Like, I feel lost here at the shore, How do I go through this energy, right? It almost feels like you have a lack of tools. Like I said, it's like, okay, you knew how to get up and walk on land. You have feet. You knew how to grab a staff and make your, and assist your way there. But then here you come across and it's like, what is this? Water? Like, what? Like, what? How do I get back? And that just reminded me of I love this movie too, the scene in Spirited Away. Why can't I think of her name? Maybe that's it. Maybe you've lost your name. There's power in your name, right? There's power in your name, and it's kind of like you've lost your identity. Right? Because she goes there and it's like she signs her name, and then Yubaba takes her name, right? She's like, oh, what a pretty name. It's mine now, And it's kind of like you signed this contract where you've forgotten. And it's like, I'm like forgetting everyone's name now. Haku, thank you. Haku comes to her, right? The little boy that's the dragon, right? That's actually the dragon. He's actually like the water spirit, right? And that's the thing. He's like, I've forgotten my name. I've forgotten who I am, right? Like, I've been trapped here by Yubaba for so long that I've forgotten. It's like, don't forget your name, right? Don't forget your name. Don't forget who you are, because that's how you get trapped here. You get trapped in forgetting who you are as a spirit, who you are as a heavenly body, as a heavenly person, as a higher self. You forget when you come here on this earth plane, you forget who you are. And there's this kind of remember who you are. Remember, be rose from this kind of slumber of being in this 3D matrix and forgetting who you truly are at a soul level. Don't forget who you really are, because it's kind of almost like you've signed this contract, and Yubaba is like, the earth plane kind of being like, oh, what a pretty name. It's mine now, and you've forgotten this long acting contract, and the energy that I was getting was the point where she was trying to like they were starting to light the lanterns, you know, the sun was going down, and she was like, oh, I got to go back home, I got to get out of here. And she went to run across the field that her and her family came across to go back to town, you know, to go back to the clock tower, you know, to go back to where she was from. And all of a sudden she just, you know, she ran across it. She's like, water? Like, where did all this water come from? There's this huge ocean of, oh my God, come on, spirit, come through. There's this huge ocean, right, that's coming through. Oh my God, you guys, like, look at how, oh, look at those chill bumps, right? There's this huge ocean that has appeared, and she's just kind of like, how do I get across? I don't know. How do I get across this huge water? You know, like, and she has to go on this whole journey, right, of working in the bathhouse, you know, learning all of these people, learning the power of friendship and the power of understanding and the power of recognizing, you know, like her parents started eating the food and they turned into pigs because they, you know, they transitioned themselves because they were gluttonous or because they had this kind of like, oh, I can do whatever I want to kind of energy, right? It was, you know, her dad was like, you know, she was like, oh, you shouldn't eat that food. We haven't paid for it. We don't know what we're doing, you know? And there's this kind of, it's fine. It's fine. It's like, and Yubaba even says, like, your spirit will turn, you know, like, your parents were turned into pigs because they were gluttonous. They didn't think about it, and they just gobbled up the food of the spirits, and it wasn't for them. You know, they did things that weren't for them. You are forgetting and being stuck in this energy of gobbling up all these things that aren't for you, of holding on to all these things that aren't for you, of having an appetite and a pattern of chasing after things that aren't for you, that gets you all caught up, that gets you transitioned over, and it makes you forget who you really are, where you really came from, you know? Oh my God, her name keeps almost coming through and it just won't. Why can't I? Shin is the name they give her, right? It's like her sin. Sin is the name that they give her, right? Because she takes out some of the characters of her name and and makes it just Sin. Like, Sin is your name now, right? Chihiro. That's her name. Chihiro, thank you. Chihiro is her name, right? And she takes out some characters of her name, and all that's left is the kanji for sin. And it's pronounced Sin. And oh my gosh, I'm having so many downloads for this movie right now. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite movies too. I love that, which is so crazy. I was like, how can I not remember the character names? Like, I've watched this movie thousands of times, but not thousands, but hundreds for sure, probably dozens at least for sure. But there's this kind of energy of like, you've forgotten where you came from, which is funny because as we speak, as I'm recording this, so this would have already came out. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. I've just remembered that I'm uploading a video right now that's literally called, and the title of it is literally, "You're Remembering Your Holy Name." Right? Remembering your holy name, remembering your spirit self, who you truly are, right? You've forgotten who you truly are, and you've been bound by this long-term contract, which I feel like you might have taken out of some kind of service, right? You're like, I want to elevate. I've come down here, maybe like, you know, like I'm like this earth angel kind of energy, right? I'm this angel that's come here, or this higher being that's come here, again with the starseed energy. I'm this higher being that's come down here to help elevate the earth energy, right? To help pick it up, to help elevate it to a higher dimension. But there's this kind of energy here of being bound in a long-term contract here, you know, being bound up by all the karma that you occurred and everything that you have, that has come about in all of this earth, you know, and here you are trying to heal from all of the experiences that you've had here on earth, right? Or trying to heal from a big soul kind of shattering or soul breaking energy that you had in your past. Again, with this Lemuria energy, some of you might resonate with being some of the fallen high vibrational beings that were in Lemuria. Like Lemuria fell as well, but it didn't like it to me personally. What I have come to kind of realize is that the fall of these like higher vibrational places like Lemuria, like Atlantis, is not really like an actual like falling, right? And it's funny too that Spirit talks about, what did Atlantis do? It fell into the sea, right? It fell into this lower place in emotion, right? And I think that's what happens, is that it's more like an energetic, like energetically these places were consumed and fell into lower dimensions, or fell into lower, they were in this higher dimensional state, right? And they fell into a lower dimension. They fell beneath the sea, beneath the ocean, right? Beneath the weight of these heavier emotions here on the earth plane, right? Maybe even creating some of these heavier paradigms, falling beneath the weight of these heavier paradigms here, because it is in the kind of story of Atlantis that these people knew that they were going to fall, right? They knew they were going to fall. They knew that it was coming. They knew that they were going to fall in emotion, or that they were going to fall to a lower state of being, and that in some tellings of it, it was their pride or their thirst for power that made them fall. And that really lines up with this kind of shadow masculine energy that we've been talking about. That's been the old paradigm of Earth, has been in a very masculine, like shadowy masculine energy, a very like out of divine masculine energy that the Earth has been in and been operating. And that's the paradigm that it's been in for a long time, that it was in a much more feminine energy when these kind of higher vibrational societies, civilizations existed here, around the earth plane, right? In higher dimensions of the earth plane, right? But of like the earth grid, like the earth energy grid. And they existed in these higher dimensions, maybe up in the 6th, 7th, 8th dimension, not like in the 3rd 3D coalesced dimension that we're in now, right? And there is this kind of falling into this 3D dimension of that happened when consciousness ascended here, right? That these places existed when kind of higher vibrational consciousness awareness wasn't existing here on the 3D plane. And then once higher awareness developed here, a kind of conscious being developed, these places fell into the lower dimensions of being earthened and being awakened in earth bodies, right? But then there's also this ascension journey that happens, this ascension in intelligence, this ascension in awareness, this ascension in consciousness that comes from, but in the meantime, through us living all of these earth lives, through us living through all this survival, through us having this 3D earth experience and what it means to be born here and to live this 3D earth experience, right? There is kind of this change of energy that happens in us, in our higher consciousness, in us as a soul. The more and more and more you're reincarnated in a 3D plane, the less and less you, at first, there's kind of this dissension. But look, you're already doing it, right? It's all a part of the natural process. There is this kind of energy of, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's all like, accept that it's all a part of the natural process, that everything that you've been doing, that these long-term soul contracts, there's this kind of shifting in energy that, that you did something bad that trapped you here. And there's this kind of feeling of, in the higher dimensions, there isn't this kind of energy of shame or guilt or anger or pain. Those things come from lower subconscious energies, right? Like below the level of intelligence that we are here, that we are in now. Council of Light and the crumbling. Yes. So this Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms, right? In the higher realms, in the higher dimensions, those beings, the angelic beings, the ascended masters, the, Jesus Christ consciousness, the things like that, which Jesus was an ascended master, but like those energies right now are assisting you in this crumbling, right? This tower energy, this crumbling of this tower energy that has kept you on the other side of this knowing, this no energy that you keep reaching or that you keep being stuck in. Not seeing yourself for the higher being that you are because of all the past lives, or because of the ancestry that you have particularly been born into. Oh yeah, let's get, like we weren't deep enough. Thank you, Kendrick. The rabbit hole can go deeper, I promise. Yeah. Okay. Look, Akasha, with the Akashic records and mirroring energy is coming out here. So there is this sense here that this marrying and triggering energy that you're going through right now, it's kind of almost like this, you're being triggered by looking at your true self and seeing like this dissonance between who you are on a soul self and who you are allowing, how much of your soul self you're allowing to come through in this 3D body that you're inhabiting now. How much of your true higher self are you allowing yourself to be? There's kind of almost like this energy of like, this no energy is kind of like this earth energy of like not being able to put the two and two together. Right? It's like we talk about all the time about how this discomfort is caused because your true higher self has the blueprint, right? It has the instructions, it has the contract, it knows what you're supposed to be doing. But your lower self is kind of just acting, has these like 3D ego survival, like your 3D flesh brain influences that kind of create this block, that kind of slow down this higher self intuitive energy of, this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is your contract, this, all the woo-woo energy that wants to come in, but your 3D flesh brain is like, but logic, but things that are around me, but all of the lessons that I've learned, but all of the ways I've been told no, all of the paradigms that tell me I'm not allowed to be higher, I'm not allowed to have a higher self, that women can't do this, or men shouldn't say that, or you're not allowed to love this, or you're not allowed to do that, or you'll be judged if you this way, or you'll be looked at a certain way if you act this way. It's that kind of energy. And Spirit is saying it's that, as wonderful as it is, that you are here, and amazing as appreciative as you should be of your body, because as we, having these 3D bodies is what is a natural phase in the higher ascension journey of every, collective consciousness. Having a 3D body and then slowly being incarnated over and over and over again. And as we raise that soul intelligence within us, right? That soul emotional intelligence within us, it assists all of our higher consciousness in ascending and eventually being able to reach that higher state of awareness, right? That's what creating the new world is about taking our consciousness higher and higher and higher and higher to these high frequency dimensions, right? Eventually trying to take Earth up at least into the fourth dimension, right? Reuniting with that kind of fourth dimensional higher self that Earth used to be in before it fell, you know. But it's all a part of, it's kind of like Spirit wants us all to kind of be like, stop thinking, stop feeling like you were punished, right? It's all a part of the natural, like the people of Atlantis knew that the fall was coming, because, and they accepted it because they knew that it was a natural part, that consciousness at first in Earth, you know, to create the Earth matrix and the Earth grid, needed to be at a higher frequency, and then at some point it would fall down into 3D frequency so that there could be flesh bodies here, right? That eventually would assist in the evolution of Earth as a species, as humans as a species, Gaians as a species, and eventually help assist us into, out of the 3D matrix and into higher dimensions, right? And into more conscious dimensions and out of this 3D. But it takes time. It takes millions, billions of years for that type of evolution to happen. Again, it's that you're, come on now, birthing a new age. Come on now, birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing, plugging into these 3D matrix bodies, is dreaming a new world into being here in Earth consciousness, right? Assisting in the raising of collective consciousness, in the universal collective consciousness, right? Every single planet that develops sentient life is assisting in the overall raising of consciousness of us, everything that exists, the universe, right? The collective universal consciousness, right? Because you have a consciousness that's inside this body, right? And then you have, that's connected to a higher consciousness above yourself, your higher self, your soul self, right? And that consciousness is connected to a higher earth consciousness, like who we are as an earth people, right? Right? And then an even higher consciousness that is like our collective universal conscious, right? I mean, there's lots of different layers all in between that, but you know. And look what you're doing. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. You're awakening. Okay, and what are you awakening? The age of light. Look at you. Look at you. You are standing inside the pyramid. You are the pyramid now. You are this pyramid of light, right? This is your higher collective consciousness self standing here inside the pyramid. Why did I just now notice too? Isn't this, I think this face is made out of the bust, the really well-known bust of Nefertiti, right? She was an ancient Egyptian. At this point, they were, they weren't calling themselves Kemets anymore. They were calling themselves Egyptians, right? But she was a pharaoh in Egypt, one of the few female pharaohs, right? I'm pretty sure that's who this face is made of. I don't know. For some of you, you might have had an ancient life, being a ruler or a high priestess in ancient Kemet. Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Come on now. Wow. That's, God, it's just like this. I love it. I love it so much. Right? And that's what you're doing, right? You're slowly awakening, raising in your vibration to become, not right, not just to, it's this long journey of, going and walking, going on this huge pilgrimage as the soul, right? Going on all this journey, learning all these different lifetimes, doing this service here on earth, right? Thank you for your service, by the way. Thank you. And coming to this place here, right? Where now you are here at this place of sitting there like, oh, this ocean here that seems to be separating me from, I want to get on this boat and go to this place of peace, which is this place of remembering my higher self, unlocking and remembering your higher journey here, right? It's not just about the day-to-day grind of what's happening, of getting up, going to work, getting paid, paying your bills. It's more than that. We're all more than just that, right? Because Earth will make you forget that, right? Earth will make you forget that it's all more than just this, right? It's not just this life. It's not just your bills. It's not just those things. And not that we still have to live here in the earth, right? We still have to live here. You're still in 3D. You still have to pay your bills, and you still have to, earn your way in this world. But there is this kind of, let that higher mission be your drive, be your reminder, right? If you're uncomfortable in this day-to-day grind life, it's because somewhere inside your subconscious, there's so much more than this, right? There's so much more than this. There's so much more than getting stuck in this day-to-day earth plane of what's happening here on the earth plane. There's more here, right? But there's something here about remembering that and allowing that higher knowledge, that higher self, to ground in to this earth body, to ground in here into the 3D matrix, like that. You're grounding that energy in, and that knowledge into yourself, and allowing it to kind of like shine out of you through your earth body, right? So that you are, right? So that you can become one. Oh my gosh, the imagery of this is just so beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh. It feels so high vibrational, you guys. It's so beautiful. A lot of transmuting. Wow. I'm having such a good time. Come on. Because that's what you're doing here, is your karmic clearing, right? You're holding the space to karmically clear, so that you can stand here again at the top of the mountain, as look at the clouds or the birds, right? And here you are again at the top of the mountain in the light, right? And that God is holding, the universe, God is holding the space here for you, right? Earth is like this space here, that you're being held here so that you can go through this ascension. And go through this paradigm shift here, right? Again, you go into the doorway, go into the gateway, go into the archway. And my gosh, look at the imagery over and over again. The hands being held in the hands, being held by this higher energy, by this bigger than life energy, right? Being held here in the hands of this bigger than life kind of energy. And for some of you, that's, you could see that as God, as source, as your higher self, as angels, or your guardians, whoever, whatever resonates for you, right? And again, I also want to notice here how we're kind of shifting again from, this is clearly like a masculine looking figure here, doing this karmic clearing here, raising, you're going through the paradigm shift. It's this dark energy, but it's looking a little bit more feminine energy, right? And then look here, coming into the light, this bright light, in this more feminine energy here, right? And even if it is man, which I don't think that it is, but it's kind of, again, how I talked about earlier about how we are shifting from this more masculine energy here, going through this portal of ascension. And also, of course, here at the top, there's the pyramid again, at the top of this doorway. Come on now. Come on now. And you shifting into this. That thunder was like so perfect. It's like I said this, and then the thunder just shifting into this, you standing in the light energy, right? But it is kind of this energy of you standing at the doorway. That also reminds me of another reading that I did where I was like, I think the title of it was like, your hands on the door. All you have to do is turn the knob and get out. And Spirit was speaking in this kind of allegory of you walking through like a haunted house, or you walking through a house, and there being this devil energy of kind of like, you know, like the Michael Myers or something chasing after you, you know, and it's like this energy of, here I am right here at the doorway that I'm going to open up, that's going to lead me to, that's going to lead me. And in that reading, I talked about how you can hear that there's that person that's in the movie with you, that's like in the car being like, beep, 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 come on, we're going to get out of here. And your hand is on the door, and you hear the sound of the bad guy walking up behind you, or you hear someone call out your name or something. And Spirit was basically telling you, don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't waste your time turning around and looking and, but wait, is the bad guy right behind me? Your hand is already on the door. Just open up the door and throw yourself out of it, right? Open up, like your hand is on the knob, but that devil energy is creaking up behind you. You know, the floorboards are creaking behind you, or, you know, somebody's, oh, collective, you know, and you're just kind of like, and it's this pause energy of like, should I turn around? Should I look? And Spirit's like, what are you doing? Because, you know, because I even talked about how, like, there'll be times like that in movies and stuff when you're watching it, or I'm that type of person, and you're like, get out, like your hand is on the door, go, like, what are you waiting for? What are you pausing for? Stop pausing for dramatic effect and get out, right? So it's like your spirit guides are the ones sitting there watching you on the TV, basically being like, get out, your hand's on the door, oh my god, it's right behind you, like, go, don't waste your time turning around and looking at it, because it's like you turn around and you look at it, it's going to engage with you, it's going to lock you back in, you know, it's going to grab you and pull you into the shadows or something, or, you know, it's going to entrance you. Like, don't turn around, don't listen to the bullshit, you know, to this devil energy telling you, no, wait, stop, don't leave the evil haunted house, you know, like, don't wake up, don't do that, right? You know, and it's like, no, I think I'll just let this door open, right? And Spirit is basically being like, we are kicking this door open from the other side, you know, and there it is, it's opening, the doorway is like opening up, right? And like all this light, this bright light is starting to shine through, and you're just like, oh, I've been in this dark, haunted, you know, this dark, creepy old house trying to get away from my pursuer, from my person. Oh, and, you know, and Spirit's like, get out, your hand's on the door, like, get out. And you're kind of, that's where you were. You were here with your hand. Look at your hand on the door, right? The door. Look, I said that I said there was something significant about the fact that this kind of like rod here was standing in front of the mountain, right? It's like your hand is right there on the door, and all you gotta do is turn the knob and get the hell out, right? And allow this understanding to wash in and get there, because on the other side of it, Spirit has that person sitting in the car being like, beep, beep, I hotwired this car that was in their old shed. Come on. Like, let's go, you know? And the vehicle for that is some kind of study, or something we were talking about earlier. It's some kind of knowledge that Spirit is grounding into you. Now, Assistance of the golden light. Look at that. Right? And again, it's like you're praying for help, help me. And Spirit's like, okay, cool. I'm sending you this knowledge, this understanding. It's within yourself. So Spirit wants many of you to see the vehicle that this knowledge is, that this understanding is. Because at the end of the day, that's all we have, right? Is we have our experiences and we have our awareness and our perception, our ability to perceive. At the end of the day, that's what we are as a soul, is our ability to perceive, right? Our ability to think, to understand, to use the context of what we've gone through to help us get to a better place. But all of that happens in here, right? All of that happens in here, in here. Ooh, wisdom of the divine feminine. Look at that, right? Spirit is saying, remember, remember that you have this otherworldly, higher vibrational wisdom inside yourself, right? Allow it to bloom. Allow it to be realized. Yes, exactly. Allow those doorways to throw themselves completely open. And again, look at all these like different versions of himself where he's kind of like, I don't want to say shattering his consciousness, but it's more like expanding his consciousness and understanding I'm more than just me. I'm also this, and I'm also that, and I'm also this, and I'm the higher self, and then I'm the higher self higher than that, the higher self that's higher than that, the higher self that's higher than that, the consciousness that's even higher than that. And it's kind of like this down, this throwing this doorway wide open in your mind, like I said, right, in your third eye, in your mind, in your intuition, in your higher knowing, right? Throwing that doorway wide ass open and allowing this higher version of yourself. Because look at this right here, right? I said, you're going to go to the top, but then look, there's another stairway after that. Like I said, there's like this 3D self, and then there's your higher self, and then your higher self has higher selves after that, like it keeps going upward all the way until, because we're all living at a level of dissension from God's source energy, right? So it keeps on going, but if you follow it back, it is oneness with source energy. And there's kind of this like walk in a day-to-day basis of knowing that, of living consciously in that kind of knowing, right? And it's 1:07 and it's 11:07 down on the real-time clock. Look at that. Ascension of the Rainbow Bridge. Come on now. I just was talking about that. And 18 breaks down to a 9, right? You're right there, right? You're right there. And all you have to do is go to the 10 and then it's done. The cycle is done. Y'all see how this is coming out, right? Look at this. Unplug from mass consciousness. Unplug from the old paradigm of the mass consciousness and plug in to the higher cosmic heart, cosmic Christ, and dial in to the higher consciousness. Right? 27 breaks down to a 9 too. Right? You're there. You're almost there, right? Your hand is on the door. Stop pausing. Stop allowing that devil energy to say, wait, don't leave. It's that kind of ooky spooky calling from the shadows kind of energy here. Leave. Leave. Your hand is on the door. Leave. Leave this mass consciousness and allow spiritual decree. It is a part of your soul contract to do this. Oh, it just started raining. It's been raining for days here, where I am now. Family of light. Again. Look at this. Look at this energy here. Here you are. meditating inside and you have like this auric energy around you, then look again, right? Like your consciousness, your higher consciousness, your other higher consciousness, like your collective consciousness that are higher than you. Like something very significant about blue lotus here too. Ancient Egypt used blue lotus to connect to a higher state of consciousness. Very simply put, right? Very simply put, kind of, you know, it was more than just that, but there's definitely like a vibe here of connecting. Maybe even for some of you, okay, I can't say yes or no you should, but there could be some kind of, there are different types of substances and things that you can take that people say you can go on spirit journeys with. Some of you might be being guided to do something like that. Or it could be a metaphor for you, you know, going to therapy, getting counseling, you know, like getting yourself out of that kind of past thinking. Creative intelligence. And again, there's this energy of you ascending, of you being in this earth plane and ascending to a higher level with this higher consciousness here, this wisdom of the divine feminine. Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. Some of you might be being guided to work with those ascended masters or that archangel. Okay, that's a lot of energy. 1111. Be aware of, like, yeah, I've been talking a lot about number sequencing and things. Some of you might be being guided to look more into, you know, the psychology behind numbers or numerology, astrology, numerology, different philosophies, maybe. I'm hearing like Taoism, Taoism for some of you. It's like different schools of thought, different philosophies and schools of thought that you might be guided to do research on right now. Some of you might be even, I'm hearing like the Hermetic principles. Some of you might even be guided to do your research on those. Woo. Star Child came out, so some of you might be being guided to do more research around astrology, around your own personal astrology. Initiation by air and fifth ray of intellectual knowledge. Again, there is this transmuting, again, with this releasing and letting go energy here out of your heart chakra that is going to allow this kind of explosion of energy within you. And again, it's right. It's like these are the people still plugged into this mass consciousness. And here you are, like this shining, bright energy here. Star Child. I definitely feel like some of you are receiving like downloads. And again, look how this angel is here, kind of like blowing out the smoke. Or I'm kind of just getting that kind of energy here of like you receiving like in, you know, like downloads into your heart, into your crown chakra and into your heart, right? You releasing those downloads. It's like you're receiving those downloads and then you're releasing them out of your heart chakra. Okay. Yeah. And that's going to, again, definitely just that like gateway of your heart chakra opening up as you are receiving these downloads. Again, like I said, receiving these downloads and releasing them out of your heart chakra. Wow. Some of you definitely might be gathered to look at like alchemical, like looking at like alchemical symbols. Something about like symbology here. Learning from that which has come before you and like adding on to it. Final messages here. Final messages. Where are you being called to journey to? Like listen to yourself. There could be like literal places around the world that you're being called to travel to. There could also definitely be this kind of invitation to travel inward. There definitely is. There, for all of you, there's this invitation to travel inward. And then for some of you, there is like this deeper, there is also this invitation to travel like actually physically. Initiation, yes. Rite of passage, crossing the threshold. You have been going through this kind of initiation energy here, right? You see like all the darkness and the lightning bolts and the storms and the snakes and everything. And you've been walking this pathway here through this darkness leading to what's on the other side. Again, there is this energy of you walking this path, like walking through the dark night, walking through this path to lead here and what's on the other side there. Look, mountains and the ocean. Again, right? This further ascension on the other side of it. So where are you being called to journey through? Through the dark night. You know, through this ancestral trauma energy, burning it off and rising again as your true self on the other side of it, right? Yes, having boundaries right now is so important. Having boundaries with the right people right now is very important, and including with yourself, with things inside of yourself that you need to create boundaries with. Again, break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. You are breaking those chains. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. So yes, you're breaking these ancestral chains, right? Here you are, right? Unbounding yourself. Here you are. You're coming, you're traversing, you're coming out of the cave. Here you are on the other side of the cave, right? Coming out into the light and coming out. And as you come out, right, here you are. You're kind of like the shadow self, slowly, slowly, slowly becoming, you know, because here you were inside the cave. So those are people back there. Those little white marks. Here you are, the people slowly coming out of the cave and becoming this true version of yourself, stepping out of the shadow version. Because here you're getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Because here you were like a light in the darkness, right? But here you are stepping out into the light, and the shadow self is getting less and less and less as the real true you is being birthed into existence, right? And speaking of that, right, birthing the new age. And then this Lumeria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening, right? You're here recreating this kind of heaven on earth feeling within yourself, as well as within the higher consciousness, right? Again, this you within a deeper you, within a deeper you, within a deeper consciousness. Again, these concentric circles coming out. And this is also this kind of energy right here, right? You being that light shining. That a lot of you have felt different, or you felt odd, or you felt judged because you were, again, like I said, you were that light shining surrounded in the dark. You were that light shining in the lower paradigms, right? But this is about shifting your perspective and shifting your internal world, your emotional body, your light body to a frequency that aligns more with this, right? Creating heaven on earth, creating this higher dimensional energy here for you here. High priestess energy. Right? How are you being called to step up and lead? And again, here you are, here in the pyramid, standing here in the pyramid. And here you are now. You see, you have the wings. You have become the phoenix, right? You have gone through this phoenix phase where you have been rebirthed inside the pyramid here of your higher self. And again, this kind of, see, the pyramid of light is within you. Right? It is the seed within you. Thank you, Spirit. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Keep facing where you're going. You're already creating this beautiful, you're already answered the call, right? You're already answering the call. You're walking down that path, okay? So stay grounded, all right? And don't forget that along the way, you're being asked to share your voice. Because here you are again in that cave. The imagery, the repeating imagery of all across all these different decks is kind of crazy. Okay, but it's the story that Spirit is wanting to tell. All right? You're in this ancestral cave in the dark, right? Being this light shining in the dark. That was the long-term contract that you took, was I'll be this light shining in the dark. But now Spirit is saying a new phase of your journey is happening here where you no longer have to be inside that cave here, sitting at the edge. You know, you were walking, and then you sat right there on the edge of the cave. Sat right there on the edge of the cave, and you could see in the background, you know, separating again you by this water, there's that pyramid, there's that mountain, there's that ascension, and you're out and you're looking, but you're sitting here at the edge of that cave with your hand right there on the door, and Spirit is saying, it's time. Release this contract. You've gone and you've walked through the dark. You've gone through shining your light in the dark places. Now it's time for you to be in the light. And I feel like for a lot of you, how you're going to break this ancestral pattern, how you're going to get out of the cave and step into the light is by sharing your truth, sharing your voice. Come out of the cave. Look, it says it right there. Come out of the cave. Come out. Share who you really are. Stop waiting here on the shore for your ships to come in. Right? You were in this pause energy, but now it's time to allow yourself to traverse this water and get to the pyramid of empowerment on the other side. That you've been dimming your light, actually, here in this cave. Staying in this cave, shining your light in the cave. It's almost like your light is, you know, it wasn't lost. But Spirit is saying perhaps maybe you felt like for a long time, like your light has been lost. Look how that person is looking back at her like, ugh, like, why are you shining so bright? Why are you being so beautiful? Why are you raising the vibration? Why are you doing this here? Maybe you have felt very unappreciated, you know? We talk about that here on the channel, about how here, if you're born into those ancestral lines, that you're breaking that ancestral pattern. Your friends, your family, the people that are stuck back in the old paradigms, they might not have the perception, the ability to perceive and have, let alone have gratitude for the work that you're doing for your ancestral line. That disconnect is not there. They weren't given your mission. They weren't given the vision. You were. And sometimes we can get caught up wanting to feel like people around us see the vision that we see. Don't you see it? Don't you see my potential? Don't you see everything that I'm trying to create? Not really. I don't even understand. It's like you're handing them a book that's in a language they can't even read. And they're like, okay, you know, you're like, I've slaved all this time creating this book, and you hand them this book and they're like, what does this even say? And you're like, you can't read it. And it's like, okay, I see that you made this book, but I can't even read the language that it's written in. So what is it going to do for me? How excited can you be about a book that you can't even absorb the information from? And it's because they don't have the tools. They do have them, but they haven't developed their tools. And you spent the time going out there, you know, getting Rosetta Stone so that you can learn the language, right? You spent the time doing that. But forcing that book, shining your light in the darkness of the cave to people who can't even read the language or understand what you're even saying. That's why you feel like burnt out. That's why you feel like, what am I even here for? What difference am I even making? You're preaching, you're throwing your pearls before swine. And I'm not coming back around to the Spirited Away reference, right? Her parents did not know what they were doing. She was sitting there going, you shouldn't do that. You guys stop eating the food. I don't think you should do that. Stop, you guys. And they did it anyway. You're sitting there preaching to these people who have their backs turned to you, who just want to do what they want to do because they're on their separate journey. Give them grace to be on their separate journey, right? Perhaps they haven't lived as many lives as you have. Perhaps they don't come from the same, from the same place that you come from. Perhaps, you have forgotten the truth. And the truth is, you don't really belong with those people. You aren't the same as those people, right? No wonder that the Kendrick's lessons of they're not like us. Like, you're not like these people, right? And you've always taken the weight and the burden of that on your shoulders because people have been like, you're not like us. You're not like us. Right? You're not like us. You're different. You think different. You act different. You do different things. Get out, And there is this kind of, again, I don't know if my device picked up the thunder in the background right when I said that, right? And there is this, well, what's wrong with me? Because I'm not like them. I'm different, right? There is this survival instinct that we have in us that way back in the day, it's this evolutionary trait, the survival instinct. If I'm not like the crowd, if I'm not like my tribe, they'll kick me out. And if they kick me out, I'm just a lone person out here in the woods, out here in the jungle with no tribe to help me survive. I will die. Right? I won't make it if I'm not accepted and loved by the people that I'm around. If they reject me and kick me out of my tribe, I'm going to die. Right? And it is that flesh brain, right, that tells you if your family, if your friends, if the people you have these deep, long-lasting connections to, if they don't accept you, if they don't see you for who you are, you're not going to make it. But that's your flesh brain talking. That's your lizard brain talking, right? As the people like to say, right? That's your ego talking. And our ego, as much as people want to talk about, you go into an ego death, your ego can't really die, right? Your ego only dies when your flesh body does, right? When you are detached from your flesh body, because your ego is there to help you survive. It's an evolutionary trait that helped our ancestors survive. Having that psychological logical mind of, I have to be looking for predators. I have to make sure that my physical body is safe and that I stay out of harm, right? But the ego lacks in deeper intelligence that our emotional or that our soul hides, which is, it's about more than just not being accepted by these people. But your ego, your survival instincts, your deeper flesh brain, your flesh body is saying, I'm going to die. I'm going to die and be left out for dead if I don't stay right here where I am. If I don't stay here, I'm going to die. If these people don't accept me, if they don't see me for who I am, if they can't acknowledge, look at this work, look at all this work that I've done. You're you're given a book and it's got good shit in it, right? But you're giving it to people who can't even read. You're giving it to people who can't even read the language that it's in. They can't, or even if they can, it is way too deep. They are not ready, right? You were giving a college level thesis paper to 2-year-olds and saying, read this. It's full of such information. And this person's like, I know, what is this? I'm going to rip this paper up. I'm going to go play and go do something else because I don't even understand what you're trying to say to me. I don't get it, And I'm not calling the people that are around you swine. I'm not calling them pigs. I'm not calling them, I'm not calling them, they're just not on the awakened consciousness level that you're on. And that's not a knock against them. It's just where they are. You're in a different place. They weren't given the vision you were. There are other people out there that will that will read this text and be like, holy crap, this is the most enlightened thing I've ever read in my life. This is amazing. Those people are out there. Go find your tribe. Stop just squeezing the life out of yourself because you're just in the cave shining your light in the darkness. When these things that exist in the cave, they don't appreciate it, right? Things that evolve in darkness, many of them lose their eyesight, right? There's all different types of species of animals out there that live in the deep darkness of the water, or that live in the deep darkness of the cave. And evolution has just told them, eyes are useless for your environment, right? It's not about it's about helping you survive where you are right now, right? And in the 3D, there's a lot of things that say, oh, all of this highfalutin woo-woo spiritual stuff, it doesn't serve me. I just need to, but there is this juxtaposition between who you are as a soul and who you are as a 3D body, right? And there is constantly this push and pull energy of your higher self telling you it's more than just this flesh body. But then your flesh body is telling you, this is what I need to survive. I still need to eat. I still need to live. I still need to have like some pleasure in my body. I still need to exercise. I need to get out. I need to live. And I need to not be rejected by my society. Like I can't just live alone in the woods somewhere with nobody around me. In our more modern day society, yes, you can, but back in the day in our evolution, that meant you were by yourself and there was nobody to watch your back, right? When you were sleeping, some random jaguar or something could come up on you and get you. However, if you're in a tribe, you're sleeping while somebody else is taking watch. Then you get up, take watch, and somebody else sleeps. You have fire. You have this. If you're out just in the jungle by yourself, maybe you don't have those things, right? And it's kind of this very deep survival instinct of, I need to be accepted by my tribe. But Spirit is saying here, it's fine for you to feel like that you need to be accepted by a tribe. It's fine that you have those survival instincts, but what tribe? What tribe are you dying to be accepted by? Because the right tribe won't ask you to die to be accepted by them. They'll just accept you for who you truly are. And you have been shining your bright, bright light in this dark, dark cave for all of these things, these worms, these snakes, these bats, these things that exist in the cave, and they don't appreciate your light. They don't appreciate it. They're like, in fact, I don't want it. And you're like, it's so amazing. Look at this bright light. And they're like, oh, why are you the way you are? Why? Because I am. So you are trying way too hard to be accepted by the wrong people. You're burning up your energy, trying so hard to be accepted by people who aren't even your tribe. You're trying so hard, right? It's giving me that kind of ugly duckling feeling. It's like, oh, I just, like, I want to be accepted. I want to look like everybody else. I want to feel like everybody else. And everybody's just like, you're just not like us. And that's weird. It's weird that that you look that way and that you're not like us and that you're different. That's weird. You should get over there. You should get away, right? It's this very tribalistic mindset that's holding you back. Right? Evolve higher, right? Evolve higher than what your flesh brain, what your ego is telling you, right? You're not going to die if you step away from this tribe. You might be lonely for a little bit, but allow that uncomfortable feeling of loneliness to drive you towards your right tribe, not just accepting whoever. Let that uncomfortable feeling drive you towards people that you don't have to have these huge ridiculous boundaries, because they're not always trying to take your energy, or they're not always being like, you don't belong, I don't understand you, I don't get you. Because a lot of these people in this cave, they might be growing off this light, but they don't consciously accept it for what it is. They want it. They thirst for it at a higher level. They want it and they want to be like you. But their 3D selves are going to tell them like, oh, your light is so shy. Why are you blind? I don't understand. You're blinding me. I don't get it. You're not helping me to see. You're blinding me. Right? And Spirit is saying, step the fuck out of the cave. Stop shining your light in this darkness. And go step out into the light. Bring yourself out into the light. Step out of this cave. Right? And again, that's that share your voice energy. For a lot of you, this no, you've been telling yourself is no. I can't turn my back on the people that, that turn their back on me. No, I feel abandoned. So I refuse to abandon them. I'm not going to be like them. So a lot of you see you gaining your independence and gaining your freedom as abandoning people from your past. And you have this kind of energy of, I was rejected, I was abandoned, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person abandoning the people that abandoned me. I want to be better than them. And Spirit's kind of like, no. Like you already are kind of doing better than, like, Spirit's like, nah, let it go. Rejection is divine protection. If somebody is rejecting you and pushing you away, it's not you being a higher, better version of yourself to cling on to that person and say, no, you don't understand how much you need me. No, you don't understand how much, because that's not you prioritizing your truth, right? That's not you prioritizing what's really up. That's you clinging to codependency. That's you having a maladaptive response to them rejecting you, right? Your response to rejection should be, oh, cool. You want me to kick rocks? Baby, they flying. Bye. I'm gone. Baby, you don't got to tell me to kick rocks because I already felt like unappreciated. And that's my sign to not linger, to not, linger around. I'm not going to stay here and stay agitated. You don't want my help. You don't want my love. You don't want you don't want to be accepted. You don't want to accept me. Cool. Bye. Bye. But a lot of you, because you have these wounds of rejection or you have these wounds of abandonment, you don't realize that these wounds are making you cling to the very things that are hurting you the most. And for a lot of you, this is people, this is mindsets, right? Double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity with soul family. A lot of you feel like, oh, it's my mission to raise these poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need. Yeah. But it's like, there's this double energy of you not really helping yourself. You needing to reparent, remother yourself. Yeah. And I'm not necessarily calling you Ursula, but it is like you're creating like these contracts with these people. But it's almost like, no, like you're the poor, unfortunate soul that's created this contract with Ursula, right? And what's the cost of you being like them? I want to be like them. I want to be where the people are, right? I want to see them dancing, right? Like I want to be somewhere else. I don't want to accept who I am. And I just want to fantasize about being somewhere else, being someone else, or being like them, right? And I'll trade my voice, my freedom, my truth. You better listen here. You better listen here. Okay? I'll trade all of that to be like them. Right? And I'll stay locked in the cave. It's, oh my goodness. You have to pay to play. Yeah, there's something like that where it's like I have to pay this price of changing who I am to be accepted by these other people, right? Oh, he'll never accept me as I am, so I just want to be something else. I want to be something that I'm not. I want to be different than I actually am, than who I naturally am, so that I can be accepted. And then Eric's doing all this, Eric didn't ever think about getting her to write down. I mean, Ariel knew how to write. She knew how to sign her name. She signed her name on the contract. Ariel, you didn't ever think about, like, oh wait, y'all got paper here? Y'all got paper here on land too? Y'all got parchment paper and quills and inks? Oh, here. This is what happened. This is what's up. My name is Ariel. I'm from the ocean. I'm in love with you. Did you guys ever think about that? You guys ever think about writing it down? Girl, write it down. Right? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you just have to sit there and not have a voice to be loved and accepted? So for some of y'all, y'all are dealing with the fact that maybe you want to change for a man, or maybe you want to change to find a partner. Maybe you have done a lot of changing yourself, signing contracts away to change yourself, to be loved and accepted, to feel like, oh, well, that person will never accept me being who I truly am, so I need to change myself so I'm more like them, right? But then once you change yourself, there's this lack of communication. It's not there. Like, it falls apart anyway because it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be that. And there's kind of this energy of self-sacrifice. Like, I'll sacrifice myself to be loved and accepted by other people. But it's like you're sacrificing yourself, and then those other people still don't love, still don't respect you. Tell me, has changing yourself, has hiding yourself, has it got you the love and respect from your friends and your family that you wanted? At pretending to not love who you love, at pretending to not be what you want to be, has it ever been enough for them? Or do they counter offer you with that, with, why don't you keep changing yourself? Why don't you keep doing this? Why don't you keep not being that? Take a break. Ooh-wee. My power almost went off. Come on. Right? Trust that niggling feeling. What's that niggling feeling telling you? I'm not accepted. I'm not loved by these people. Then leave. Protection. Rejection is divine protection. I'm not loved. I'm not wanted by these people. Then leave. Yeah, starseed. A lot of you are different because you are. At a soul level, you're different. You're different people. Spend some time reparenting yourself, remothering yourself, showing up for yourself in the way that you want these other people to show up for you, because there's kind of almost this energy of you're never going to be able to be your true self and be accepted by these people. Because if they were going to accept you for you being your true self, they would have just accepted you for who you were. It's this conditional love that you've been taught to be okay with that's holding you back. All the ways that they've told you no. No. Dim your light. You're too bright. You're too this. You're too that. You're too different. Stop fighting to be accepted by people who don't love you. Because it isn't real love. It isn't the real type of real unconditional love. Now, do they love you in a sense? I'm not saying that your mom or your dad or that your friends don't love you. But if they don't love who you truly are, if you're having to compromise your true self and who you truly are for them, it's not real love. It's not the type of love that you should be searching for. And it's never going, all this compromising that you're doing of yourself is never going to lead you to feeling the feeling of acceptance and love that you really want. Because you're always going to remember that you always had to be somebody else for them to love you. I had to change myself. I had to give up my voice. I had to give up my wants and my dreams and my future and what I really wanted to be so that they would love me. Is that real love? Is that worth your time and your energy? Spirit, God, Source made you the way that you are, made you who you are, made you love what you wanted and want to chase after the dreams that you want to chase after. Who are they to say that it's not good enough? Who are they to say that it's not for you? If God gave you the assignment, who are they to say that it's not right? Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you guys, okay? If you feel called to get a personal reading from me, my contact information is listed down below. Thank you to your angels, spirits, ancestors, guardians, and guides that have guided you here to get this information. Thank you to my angels, spirits, ancestors, guardians, and guides that have helped me to deliver this information as well as keeping me safe while they did so. I really appreciate you guys. Do the YouTube things, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know if this resonated for you, okay? And I'll see you lovelies in the next one, all right? Okay? Break the chain. Bye.